It is a small city, but it has a big heart, huge spirit.
We're unique, and that uniqueness sometimes differs from the greater regional community around us.
In the early days of Richland Hills, this was considered far out from Fort Worth. It was considered so far out in the country that the first home builders had to finance the homes themselves because banks wouldn't lend the money.
Everybody in our area had horses and stuff. We didn't have horses, we had some dogs and stuff like that. We had big yards. There were big yards, big trees.
I fell in love with the area because I grew up in the country. I didn't really like, quote, city living.
And we have children who are grown when you have grandkids, so they can run all over the yard and play, and we just love it here.
Yep. So nice and quiet. We like to sit outside in the evenings and just relax and hear the quiet.
Like you're in the country.
It is, just like out in the country.
I have comfort in the fact that I hear a rooster crow every morning. You know, it's something that I really enjoy.
We had our own cinema. We thought, right there's a one theater cinema, one screen theater there close to the cinema, and there was an Arnold Palmer putt-putt course right there beside Jack in the Box. So that was our local entertainment that we had.
We had a fantastic neighborhood. We will attend block parties, spend time with friends and their families.
I got a knock on the door just about every day to help move something, help cut something down, because the neighbors, we were friends with all of our neighbors.
And I remember when Richland Hills had their first 4th of July parade. That reminds me of small town, just the little parade. It's just kind of quaint.
We make the most of the grounds too with all the different events. That's real important. So many events every year too.
Christmas, lighting the Christmas tree is
Easter.
always fun. It just feels like those old movies you see where the small town
America is what it is.
People gather, yeah.
Yeah, so North Richland Hills City Council from 1982 to 91. Had a young family, decided to get off, and I got back on the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city. Then in 2006, I was fortunate to be elected to the school board for Birdville ISD and continue to serve there on the school board. So long service for the community, but glad to be a part of it. So this is home for me and my family.
What kept me on the council and why I kept running is I really enjoyed participating in the business of the city. It wasn't glamorous or prestige, it was just applying yourself to the business of the city.
People are real supportive of my role now too, and I've really liked that a lot. I hear a lot of people either on Facebook or just personally calling me. I make my phone number out there for everybody, so happy to talk to them and happy to help them. That's what I did for a long time anyway. I helped people because I worked in city government for 41 years. That's what it's all about. We're service providers for people.
Richland Hills hadn't changed a whole lot since then. It's still small town community, but surrounded by the luxuries of Fort Worth being close by, the airport being close by.
And over the years, a lot more things have been happening. A lot more people have come in. We've got new developments coming in now too, so things are happening in this town, and I think the management of the city has made a huge difference too, all throughout their staff too, so it's very unified.
But you can't hold on to the past. The city's not going to go back to the 50s. We have to embrace change.
Volunteer, get involved. It's your community. It's going to be what you make of it, how much you give back, the time, the energy. That's why I feel so strongly about where I grew up. It's part of my community. I know some of the people still. Yeah, some people's changed, and parents and our grandparents have all passed away and gone on, but it's still community that can do great things for people.
Being able to give back from what I did for 41 years is important. I mean, I could just stay at home, or we could just go travel, or I could just go play golf all the time, but I want to give back to the community because I have some of that knowledge of how the city government works, and it helps.
For the new citizens that come, the young citizens, to appreciate what you have and keep loving your city, take care of it, help the people in need, the elderly, the young people that are growing in here. Appreciate what you have because you are in a blessed community.
When I first moved here,
1958.
Yeah, 1958.
The year I was born.
At Christmas time, had to move a Christmas tree, a decorated Christmas tree to get in here.
We were on Willa Park, and Pine Park was the edge. On the other side were no streets. So I have seen a lot of changes.
The freeways has been a big thing. When I was a teenager, we used to race on 121 when it was being built. That was our drag strip.
Back in the 50s and 60s, I think it was mainly gatherings of families.
Oh, the park and my family coming over for Easter. Back then we had a baseball diamond where the new playground is.
It's always good to see people drive by and wave at you. They may not know you, but they'll still wave and acknowledge you. Living in Richland Hills, I've always said, we may not have all the businesses, but we have one of the best locations.
All the kids played in the streets and bicycles and all that stuff, and you just don't see that anymore here.
In about 1985, I was interviewing for jobs, looking around, and a friend that was the then director of the community center said, I want to start another exercise class and I want you to do it. Foreign language to me, I had no idea what she was talking about. So I go through magazines and books and things and come up with a program. I still lead the same exercise class, although not the same people, of course, after this many years.
So I decided I just throw my hat in the ring, see how it turned out. Marilyn said, well, you'll never win that. Lo and behold, I won it.
I did not know anything about Richland Hills. My first involvement was the library board. And from there, it just kept expanding. The one thing I learned that I had to do when I became mayor was stand up for our city. I remember going to transportation meetings, and North Richland Hills wanted to have extra sales tax so they could be a part of the T. I always raised my hand, and Mr. Trevino knew, if you get an extra sales tax, we do too.
Living here in Richland Hills all my life and be able to serve the community and do some good things for it. Before I got on council, I really played a role in being a voice for a lot of people at the meetings.
That was in 1985 that I started. I presently am at the library. I have worked in the city in every department except the Public Works and the police department. But I have been offered jobs there, but I don't think I would do well on a Bobcat.
Knocking on doors, I found children who were living in either their parents' home or even their grandparents' home. They would go off to school, college, get a job, but they wanted back in this area.
There's more people involved community-wise now. Before it's just, families congregated here and that was their friends in their community, was their families. But now I think people that don't know each other have a better opportunity to get together and meet other people.
That's pretty neat to see everybody pitching in, and I see it there. I seen it today, this morning. I was watching them when I was getting ready, watching the park, and they see a cup. Somebody left a cup from overnight. They'll throw it in the trash. So
I don't know. I just like what Richland Hills has to offer as far as the small town feel, the big lots, and the good houses.
We moved back here in 96, and we're still here. I'm not going anywhere.
And at this time, I have no plans to retire. I don't know when that might happen. I've been asked a lot of times when that's going to happen, and I have no idea. So I'm still here for whatever length of time the city decides to keep me. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I have been blessed living here. I have lost a lot of friends while I've lived here, but that comes with age. But I think our city is still vibrant. I think our city still has a wonderful future ahead.
But no, thank y'all, and go Richland Hills. I spent my life, dealing with horses and feeding chickens and going and walking the trails and catching crawdads and fish in the creeks.
I would call my partner and I'm like, I was hearing this noise and it was a woman riding a horse up the street. And that's when I said, it's like a little bit of country in the middle of the city.
And all the nice neighbors around, it's nice just to grow up with them. And to this day, I still know a lot of them. This is my kind of town.
I mean, it was idyllic. The first time we drove through the neighborhood, somebody's out, watering their grass, waving. And I'm like, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Trees to build clubhouses with. There wasn't anybody to tell us you can't, because whoever owned it was nice enough to say, do what you want with it. Just don't make any big messes that we have to clean up.
Richland Hills has always been a real family-oriented place, and that's something that I fell in love with.
A lot of the original houses are still here. There's something stabilizing about that. I think that's pretty neat.
My family moved to Richland Hills in 1954. When Aunt went as far as Hearst, going to visit them is where my folks found the houses here in Richland Hills.
But Richland Hills was something before North Richland Hills was anything. You know, Richland Hills really was the first suburb out in this area. That's probably the best thing about going up here, was it was not crowded. And everything seems crowded today. You back your car out of your driveway, you got to look twice, you know.
Richland Hills flooded several times during the 1960s before they built the levee. I could be up there and I could look down the street down there towards Redwood, and I could see the waters all across there.
You know, went to some kind of political groups and then got on some boards and then eventually council. So getting involved in the government and trying to make this city better has always been a big love of mine.
I think when I was growing up, there was about 5,000 or 6,000 people. I'm not really sure about that, but now there's, what, 8,300 or something.
We all need to grow, and I can see the city growing in a positive way.
I think the community complex here has been remarkable. The link and the new fire station and the police station and this whole city complex was quite a change, and it was really kind of neat.
When I have people come over, they talk about how nice and quiet and peaceful the neighborhoods seem. Other cities don't have that.
I think there are still good neighbors out there. You know, I think there's still a good community.
So I've met so many people in Richland Hills that, I mean, it's almost like they're family.
I mean, I love our July 4th parade. Our July 4th parade seems to get bigger and better every year.
You asked about what I liked about Richland Hills. My favorite things was being Santa Claus here. Going into the center, and then the kids come up and tell me what they wanted for Christmas. Just all kinds of cool stuff.
I think the community in itself and the close-knitness hasn't changed. You're very tight-knit with your neighbors, and some of them you've never even met, because now with social media and everything, you get to know people even though you haven't even met them.
Get involved, continue to try to make our city better. Think short-term and long-term.
Just keep on keeping on, man. Don't sit down and get lax. Just watch what's going on and stay on top of it.